Welcome.
I have no idea what's going on, guys. This could be a major fiasco.
To Lighting for Profits, your number one source for all things landscape lighting. Powered by Emery Allen. From lighting design, install, sales, and marketing.
And I'm just like, okay, is this where I get beat up in front of my friends? Like, what's going to happen?
We discuss everything you need to know to start and grow a successful landscape lighting business.
That's what I like.
Now, here is your host, Ryan Lee.
What is up? What is up? Welcome to the number one landscape lighting show in the world. It's Lighting for Profits, powered by Emery Allen. I'm Ryan Lee. I'm your host. We're going to be hanging out for the next little bit. We've got a sweet show coming up. Man, I can't wait till I'm big enough where I can have like a producer or someone else who hits buttons for me, because I really struggle. Right before the show, I was talking to the one and only Meaghan Likes. Meaghan's going to be our guest today. And I was like, get logged out of my outline. I'm just flustered. It's like, man, I can't wait till I'm big time. But maybe it'll take away from the authenticity of the show. Who knows? So listen, guys, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for being here. If you are here live, let me know in the comments if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. It's always like my biggest concern. And today, by the way, I'm testing out a new mic. So I want to make sure that it actually is working. So, and it's not really a new mic. It's the one that Steve used to use. You guys remember Steve? Steve, my old co-host who has disappeared. I think we need to get him back. So I'm thinking of maybe we start hashtag get Steve back or something like that. We need something to trend to get his attention. I'm not sure if he listens. I'm not sure if he watches. We have hung out a couple times and we've talked about him. Like, where is he at? But then he just ignores me. So I'm not sure what happened, but I've got his mic. So really excited to be here today with you guys. If you're looking to start or grow your landscape lighting business, then you're definitely in the right place. Today, we've got Meaghan Likes. I'm going to read her bio in a few minutes, and it's pretty exceptional. I'm like, crap, I need to work on my bio. I'm not even sure how I'm going to introduce her, but she is the owner of Likes Accounting. She's a CPA, a business owner, a hustler, a lot of different things. So stick around. One of the things that I've struggled with in business is finances and numbers. And I've always just thought, like, who cares? Like, I'll just solve all my problems with sales. And that's a problem. That can definitely be a problem. And so she's going to tell us why we need to understand our numbers, what it is we need to understand, and how that's going to help us be a better business leader. So I'm super excited to have her on. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you guys stick around and join the conversation if you're live. Of course, if you're listening on the podcast, that's great too. Just make sure that you listen to this one several times. So by way of announcement, we are going to continue the gift card giveaway. So make sure you guys are sticking around. I'm going to give you free money. Who likes free money? Let me know if you want free money. It's not a bribe. Well, it's a bribe, but it's if you're going to be here listening anyway, you might as well get paid to listen. So we're trying to have some fun with it, doing some trivia. So if you can stick around, answer the question first correctly, you're going to get paid to listen. So what's up, Andy? What's up, Rick? Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate your support as always. And I want to remind you guys, and you know this, but I have to keep telling you because some of you're not listening. Nothing hurts a quality landscape lighting install quite like flickering bulbs, a yellow fringe around the perimeter of the beam spread, or bulbs that burn out after a few on and off cycles. Don't jeopardize your customer's experience by using a budget bulb, okay? Don't go to Amazon. Don't go buy these cheap bulbs. If you want to go out of your way to provide a world-class customer experience, choose Emery Allen. At the end of the day, it's what's on the inside that counts. So make sure to take advantage of Emery Allen's world-class customer service and 10% off your first order for new clients. And this is for listeners of Lighting for Profit. So make sure you email Tom G at emeryallen.com and let him know that you heard about him on Lighting for Profits. He'll get your account set up, get your discount set up. And remember, they do offer discounted contractor pricing. So you may be tempted to go, well, I'm just going to go check them out online and, stalk them for a while. Don't do that. Okay. You're not going to get the best pricing. You're going to get way better pricing by just emailing him. And it's the owner. You're emailing Tom Garber, the owner of Emery Allen. tomg@emeryallen.com. What's up, Alejandro? Thanks for your support, brother. Thanks for being here. All right, guys. So listen, I want to talk about before we have Meaghan on again. We're gonna have Meaghan Likes with Likes Accounting, and we're gonna talk about with her all the stuff that I've been doing wrong all my life. That's really what this is all about. I think it might be an intervention. I'm kind of scared myself, but we're gonna talk about finances, and we're gonna talk about it and try to simplify it to make sure that we can help you guys out. And the whole reason behind this is so that you can make better decisions in your business. And I hear so many people all the time saying, well, I can't afford to hire a salesperson, or I can't afford to hire another installer, or afford to wrap my truck, or whatever it is. And I believe you. You probably can't. That's because you have not listened to advice from experts like Meaghan. And once you start to understand your numbers, you can know what you need to do, raise your price, and how much you need to raise your price to in order to afford the lifestyle that you set out to achieve. So, really excited to have her on. But before we have her on, I want to talk about something that I did this last week. I was hanging out in Nashville, and I went to the huge convention, and a lot of people were there. I mean, there was like 1,400, 1,500. Once you get over 1,000, you stop counting, but there was a lot of people there. Okay. And that means that there was a lot there, but there was a lot that weren't. So if you don't know what the huge convention is, it's a huge convention. Okay. It's pretty straightforward. But it's basically the home service um, convention, and it started out as pressure washing and window cleaning. So there's a lot of those types of businesses there, but now they're including all home service businesses, and it was awesome. I mean, it was a couple days of intense speakers, networking, trade showing, if that's a word. I had a booth there set up. I had a lot of people interested in landscape lighting secrets, not necessarily in secrets, but just in landscape lighting in general. People were asking about Christmas lights and landscape lights and how they can make more money. And I found there was these really, really hungry business owners there, right? And these are people that, it's fairly easy to start a pressure washing window cleaning business, just doing it yourself, right? And so that's actually where I got my start. I started cleaning windows because I was like, hey, I can buy some squeegees and a ladder and see how it goes. But the people that were there were more than that. They were more than just trying to do everything themselves. They were there to educate themselves and learn and how to be better leaders and how to actually grow a business. So I'm just giving you fair warning right now, guys. If you are not working on your business, if you are not going to these trade shows, if you are not networking, if you are not working on yourself and working on your business, you better start now, because your competition is, right? And there are people out there that you don't know that they're your competition, because they're not your competition yet, but they're going to come into your market, and while you're sitting on your heels, they are on their toes, and these guys are hustlers, and they're not just going to outwork you, they're going to outsmart you because they are doing things the right way. And it was really, really cool to see. It was awesome to meet some of these people, and some of them you could tell they didn't quite have the experience yet, but they're on the right track and they're on the right trajectory, and that's what matters most. They may not be as far as you right now, but their trajectory is on point. And these guys are going to take over the world. So it was just awesome to be around the energy of this and this group of people. There was speakers at 8 in the morning, and people were drinking it. People were having fun, but people still showed up at 8 in the morning to hear these speakers, right? And it was really incredible. I didn't have the chance to see all the speakers. I saw a couple of them because I was manning my booth, and I'm in the process right now of still replacing myself. I'm trying to hire my replacement one person at a time, and it's not easy, right? I'm trying to be in two places at once, and it's not possible, right? So I'm basically trying to implement all the things that I'm talking about on a daily basis right now in my own business. But I'll tell you this, the speakers that I did here were just awesome, right? One of the guys named, look him up, was Hamish Brewer. He's known as the tattooed skateboarding principal. And he was a cool guy. He's like, is he from Australia? I don't know where he's from. I'm bad with accents, but I think he's from New Zealand or Australia. But he's like, what is your legacy? And he's like, just getting everyone fired up and stuff like that. And what do you want to be remembered for? And all this stuff. And that might have been Irish or English. I'm not sure, but and it really makes you think like, what do you want to be remembered for? What is your legacy? Is it like my kids, for example, if you were to ask them, hopefully not now, but for sure 5 years ago, um, you know, so tell me about your dad. Like, well, he works a lot. We haven't seen him for a while. Like that sucks. I don't want my legacy to be that. And so I've been working on my legacy over the past like 5 years. Like, how can I be a better person? How can I be an influencer, not on YouTube and Facebook, but an influencer to my family, to my friends, to the people that I care about. So um, that's what I want my legacy to be, right? And so he shared with us like his mantra or maybe his core values: choose your attitude, play, and make someone's day. And that was really cool because we all get to choose our own attitude. So you could say, oh, well, that person made me mad or whatever. It's like, no, you're deciding to feel the way you're feeling right now. So choose your attitude, play, which is awesome. Just have fun, like loosen up a little bit, and then make someone's day. So I want to challenge you guys today. Make someone's day. Make someone's day. It could be just a smile. Most of you guys, if you smile at someone, guess what? You've got a great smile. People are going to smile back, right? And some of us, when we smile at people, they're just laughing at us. That's okay. Either way, just smile and you'll make someone smile. So make someone's day. The other day, I was at the gas station buying a Mountain Dew, which don't do that. But if you are at the gas station buying something and someone forgets their wallet, just buy their drink. And that happens to me not on a regular basis, but from time to time, and it's a real easy thing to do. And it's crazy to see the reactions. It's like $1 or something that I paid for, but they're like, oh my gosh, man, thanks so much, whatever. And it's like they act like it's this huge thing, which is kind of sad because if that's the world we live in, when you buy someone $1 soda, it changes their life. I mean, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it really is. So the small things add up, guys. Just go and make someone's day today. And just smile, do whatever you can. You may not be able to change the world overnight, but you can do it one step at a time, and it takes all of us. So that was cool. I really appreciated Hamish sharing his message with us and stuff like that. So, and of course we had other speakers, which I don't have time to even talk about right now. I'll probably make some videos or something like that on it because it was really, really good. And of course we had the trade show. It had a ton of different vendors. Meaghan actually was there, and we could talk about what she was promoting there. But there was so many vendors. I wanted to I would walk to my booth, because I had to man the booth. And I was like, oh, I want to go talk to that person. Oh, I want to go text, and I really couldn't. There was no time because it was so busy, which was awesome. But I was able to meet a few people. We're going to have them on the show. We're going to have them on the podcast here. We're also going to include them in some of our monthly trainings that we do inside Landscape Lighting Secrets and stuff like that. So I'm really excited. I've really enjoyed over the past couple of years going to these types of events. When I was in my business, I thought they were lame. I thought they were a waste of time. And now I look back, unfortunately, with regret, going, crap, I probably could have made it to the level I made it to in 12 years, in 5 years, had I gone and networked. So, definitely encourage you guys to go be part of the community, whatever community that is. It could be local, online, at conventions, Landscape Lighting Secrets. It could be anywhere, just go be part of a community. So that's pretty much it. That's my rant. I think it's time, guys. What do you think? Are you guys ready to welcome Meaghan? This is going to be a good one. I hope I'm not hyping you up too much, Meaghan, but I like to put pressure on her. She likes to put pressure on me. So let's figure out where the buttons are and let's do this. You guys ready? Are you ready? All right. Welcome to the show, Miss Meaghan Likes.
There's music. This is impressive.
Yeah, I got to do what I got to do to keep the energy up. It's in the afternoon on a Tuesday. There's not much energy going on.
I love it. I have been secretly researching hashtags to bring Steve back. I've come up with where's Steve, saving Steve's mic, bring back Steve. I don't know how to help you with this Steve thing, but I feel like that's a mission I can get behind.
Yeah, I like that. Which one should we go with? Let's just pick one right now.
Ryan and Steve reunion. I don't know. Something.
Not too many ideas. We just need to pick one. Otherwise, it's not going to trend.
I'm having deja vu. This takes me back to like 4 weeks ago or something. Too many ideas. Focus.
Well, thanks so much for being here. I want to, can I read your bio real quick? I haven't figured out the order.
In front of me? Oh,
Yeah.
Embarrassing. Okay.
No,
yeah.
I got to read this
because. Can I correct you as you read it? Is that allowed?
No, this is an amazing one because I don't know how to start. Okay, so I'm just going to read this. Meaghan Likes' superpower is taking people's fears out of their finances. This is true. She owns 5 businesses in Northern California, her favorite of which is her window cleaning business. And while you wouldn't guess it from her personality, Meaghan's day job is working as a CPA. Boring. Meaghan's passion is educating and empowering other business owners across the world by teaching them how to find financial freedom in their own lives. She is known as a disruptor in the accounting industry, and her claim to fame is showing small business owners how to do their own bookkeeping correctly in less than 1 hour per month using QuickBooks Online. No accounting knowledge or experience required. She teaches business owners smarter ways to make more money, save money, and will inspire you to give back in meaningful ways. Now, fun facts about Meaghan. She's a proud Rotarian and volunteers on average 10 hours a week, which are you now that you're the president. Is that right?
I'm the current president of the Davis Sunrise Rotary Club. Huge Rotary nerd over here. Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, so she's not only just a Rotarian, but the president of the local club. She's an avid reader and gardener. She's the 3rd fastest female window cleaner in the world. I love that. And she's a proud mom to 7 chickens and a dog. So welcome to the show, crazy chicken lady.
Thank you. Ryan got a private tour of the chicken coop with his wife one time on FaceTime. It was super fun. I legit am a crazy chicken lady.
I think, yeah, my Lindsay told me last night that I think I got to we got that like cheap coop. I think I got to build a new one because it's already like falling apart in like 3 months.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, we might have to come for a visit and Jeff can help you.
Yes, I would hire Jeff to just build the coop. That sounds even better. So when you go somewhere and you introduce yourself, how do you introduce yourself? Who is Meaghan Likes? What do you do? What do you say you do?
Oh my gosh, that's a tricky one. I say that I educate and empower small business owners how to live more financially rewarding lives. That's what I do.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. We got to get into this finance thing. Why do people, especially business owners, hate finance so much?
I think they're afraid of it. I think it's like this scary stigma around money. I think that we have a lot of insecurities around not being smart enough to know money. I think that we have been talked down to from our accountants for a long time, like little pat on the head, like, oh, don't you worry, I'll take care of that on the tax return later. Don't bother with that. That's not important right now. And we've just kind of enabled ourselves to not talk about it, to not think about it. And it makes me sad because I think that, well, I don't think, I know 75% of businesses fail in their first 15 years. And I would say that the number one reason for that is because they're afraid of money and they're afraid to talk about money and they're afraid to ask for help around money.
Yeah, it's true. I agree 100%. And that the only reason they're going out of business, I mean, sometimes it's like, well, they decided to do something else, whatever. But most of the time it's because they freaking run out of money. They're not making enough money to sustain themselves. So they're like, well, I only have $10. And they're like, well, I'm just going to go do something else. Like if they were making good money, they'd keep doing it, So it really comes down to it. And I remember, heck, even now, if I sit down with my financial advisors, my CPA, whatever, I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I made all this money. Like, why is this zero? Or why it says right here that I made $100,000, but my bank account says zero. So help me make sense of that.
Yeah, I'm a recovering tax accountant. And it was always a painful conversation when I tell somebody like, you owe this big tax bill. And then they turn like white and green. And they'd be like, that's not possible. You must be wrong. I think you made a mistake. You should go look at it again. Because I definitely don't have that much money. So I couldn't have made that much money because I don't have it. So that's not possible. And I'm like, so here's the thing. So I'm not a very popular accountant. I'm actually considered a disruptor in the accounting industry. I'm constantly worried like I'm going to get in trouble from the other CPAs because I do some really crazy things with accounting. And the first thing I do is I take the important numbers about how much money you made, I take it off of the balance sheet. So I meet with a lot of people and they don't look at their balance sheet. Raise your hand if you like looking at balance sheet. Nobody
No,
no.
I don't. I thought you were going to say if you don't look at it. Yeah, I don't.
No, yeah, you don't look. I mean, we know each other too well. I know that you don't look at your balance sheet. And I know that most of your listeners don't look at their balance sheet. In fact, by me saying the word balance sheet, I bet we had like 3 people drop off this call.
Yeah.
Please don't go away. Like,
they're dropping like flies. So hurry, say something important, quick.
So, but what we do care about is how much money's in the bank, how much money we're making, how much money we're spending, and where we're spending it. And usually through very basic math, that's how much money we made, right? And so then the trick is to actually keep more of it. The trick is to make the money, optimize how much we're making, and then find a way to keep it so we have something to show for it. That's kind of the tricky part.
Yeah, that's the real tricky part. So what's the biggest mistake you've seen business owners make when it comes to finance? Like what are we all doing wrong?
They don't track anything.
Okay.
So I had a meeting the other day with a therapist, not my therapist, a therapist client.
I've got one tomorrow.
Yeah, right. So, lots of thoughts about that, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. So this therapist client, therapists, they kind of have a tough job because first of all, they listen to everybody's problems all day, every day, which means that they can't actually work full time. And by design, they trade time for money. So a therapist gets paid by the hour and they only get paid when they're meeting with you in therapy. So accountants are kind of similar. Historically, accountants usually charge really high billing rates and they only get paid for the amount of time that they sit at their desk. And I've always wanted to kind of break this up. Now, if you are a landscape lighting company, there might be some parallels here. Like if you're an owner operator, you're probably only making money when you're out in the field. So I like to think about how can we make money when we're not out in the field? How can we like extend this so that we can make money in other ways? Now I'm losing my train of thought. Why was I telling the story about the therapist?
Well, because I was asking like, what's the biggest mistake that most business owners make when it comes to financing?
Oh, pricing, understand their numbers. Thank you. So this guy had run a workshop, like great, finally a therapist who's going to make money like in a group setting and he's not going to have to trade time for money and we're able to really scale him up big and fast. So he's running a workshop, a therapy workshop, very cool one. And he's priced it, he sold it, and we're having our meeting and I was like, do you realize how much it cost you to run that workshop? And he had no idea. And I think that is true for most business owners. Like when you go to do a landscape lighting job, do you know exactly how much it cost you? Do you know, you probably know how much the material cost was, but have you thought about the cost of your truck? Have you thought about the cost of the gas? Have you thought about the cost of the employee and their payroll taxes and their workers' comp insurance and the advertising that it costs to make that phone ring? I think the biggest mistake that I see business owners make is they kind of put their head in the sand. They're like, this price sounds about right because that's what Joe charges down the street or Jane charges down the street. And the reality is Joe and Jane are hemorrhaging money. They're not paying themselves. They're behind on their taxes and they're going out of business next year.
Right. Not a good path to follow. And one thing, let's say someone does that. Like, again, I really haven't met many people that have, but let's say someone really did all that and they understood their numbers and they're like, okay, this is what I got to charge. One thing that I've found is still people are underpricing because they can't afford to grow into who they want to be. So they might put in what it really costs them today to operate. What's it going to cost them to operate tomorrow? You know?
And I actually experienced that a little bit, getting vulnerable here, but we had to raise our prices by 200% this year.
Wow.
200% in our window cleaning company, because during COVID, we were like, let's throw more money at it. We just threw more money everywhere. Let's add more benefits. Let's add more perks. We are so proud as window cleaners in our company. You get health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, life, disability. You get a 401k. You get a paid gym membership. Like we've got all these wonderful perks to make it a great place to live. And yet I hadn't fully accounted for all of that in my pricing. So I had to do a big price adjustment to recover that. And that's okay. I think that where they get stuck actually is where you really excel in your program is they don't have the confidence. So I had a meeting just today and I was like, I have enough confidence for the both of us. Just go raise your price. Nothing bad's going to happen. Just go do it. Just, you can hit me with a tomato later. It's going to be fine. Just go raise your prices. And they're so afraid that they're going to like alienate their customers or that they're going to like develop a bad reputation. I'm like, why? Because you're generous? Because you're successful? Because you deliver a high quality product? Like, is that what we're afraid of here? But people are afraid of it. And I feel like you're really good at helping them overcome that fear by building the confidence in their product, building the confidence in their pitch, right? Building the confidence in, I'm going to get people to say yes to this.
I just take them in a dark alley and threaten them until they agree to raise their price. It's not that hard, you know.
I feel like I've been on the other side of that computer screen before. It was a very scary place, but it worked. You got me to where I needed to be. So
yeah, and that's what it is. It's you have to develop systems, strategies, methods, templates, scripts to give yourself the confidence that, you know what, like they're gonna say yes. And what's crazy is what people don't understand is like in the lighting world, people are like, well, man, you want me to charge $400 a light? I can't get people to say yes at 200 a light. It's like, well, listen, if you can't get them, what's the fear? If they're already saying no, then try 400. Like it can't get worse. You can't say no like in a bigger tone, like no, like no. If they're saying no, they're gonna say no anyway. And actually, the chances of you closing the deal will be higher because now you're not fighting in that red ocean. You're over here, and they're like, scratch. Why is that guy like twice the price of everybody else? There's got to be something to that, and that's the red carpet, the white glove. Like you want the full experience, you're gonna go with us. You want just cheap lights, you can go with anyone. Obviously, they're all pricing around the same. They'll follow the trends of every other business, and 75% of them are going to be gone. So hopefully, you pick the right one.
75%. Is that crazy?
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
A crazy high statistic.
I know, and it really comes down to profitability. Like I'm telling you, if they were like super profitable, they wouldn't be like, you know what, I'm just bored. I'm gonna go get a day job and just be done by 5. Like they're not.
I mean, Jeff threatens that regularly because he is bored, because he is so profitable, but also because he's so systematized, right? Every winter he comes home and is like, I think I could go pick up a couple hours at the ski shop. And I'm like, why? And he's like, well, it would be fun. And I'm like,
well, that's different though. Yeah. But he would,
like, no, who's going to do the laundry and the grocery shopping? No, you cannot go get a job. That is not allowed.
No, I want dinner ready, plated at 5:30 when I walk in the door.
5:30 every day. It's a very, very princess schedule that we live. It's fantastic. He cannot go get a retail job.
But even if he did, because maybe he wants to work at Home Depot and be a greeter or whatever, that's what he always dreamed of. He can, because he's got his business built up. He's not going to shut the business down and go do that,
Well,
so
why would we? Once you build your business to be an ATM machine, it always shocks me. I'm like, why would I sell it? Yep. I don't understand. It just like prints money. I literally print money. I had a discussion today with my business coach, and she was like, somebody was wanting to pay me a lot of money to do something, but I was trading time for money, which goes against most of my ethics. And I was like, but why would I do that? I don't understand. I could spend that same amount of time in Jeff Likes Clean Windows and I'd get like 12 times that multiple back. Like, right. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
You have to answer this question. I can't. I don't know how to answer this question.
Yeah. In 3 seconds or less, what should my COGS be without labor? I mean, it really does depend. But I mean, I think of the spreadsheets and stuff we put together is about 30% cost of goods sold.
So material costs 30%.
It's about 30, just material is about 30%. Yeah.
And so if you move to window cleaning, it's about 2%. Just don't move to window cleaning.
Wait, are we going to argue? Wait, are we going to do this? So
no, we're not going to do this because you make about 16 times more per hour than I do, and we're not going to go backwards. That doesn't make sense.
That's really what it comes down to. I met a lot of people at the Huge that were like, listen, you can go from like $50 an hour to like a couple $100 an hour going to Christmas lights, and then you can go to like $500 or $600 an hour if you go to landscape lighting. And yeah, you have high material costs, but your average job goes from $500 to $7,500. So that's interesting that this even comes up, because for me, and tell me if I'm right or wrong on this thinking.
I had to do math because somebody at the Huge, and I didn't get to the math yet, so I have to do it. They were getting $1,250, like $1,250 an hour in landscape lights after material costs.
Oh, really?
That's awesome. And I was like, yeah, why would you? And he had just retired his window cleaning business. And I was like, yeah, obviously average like 50 to 150 per man hour in window cleaning. Versus $1,250 per man hour. Same man hour, same man. That's even awesome. Plus a shovel, like no equipment, just a shovel and a truck.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's awesome. I actually don't even think I've ever done my numbers like that.
Oh, I love, I'm teaching a class at 5:00 tonight about this. Like, how do you set a goal? And we all have the same amount of time in a day. Like, how much do you want to make? Everybody's really into garage floor coating right now. I was actually with a friend who has a different home service business at the Huge, and he was like really into garage floor. I was like, why? Just go talk to Ryan Lee. Like, why would you make $3,500 a day when you could just as easily make $8,000 a day or $13,000 a day? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Why is anybody starting window cleaning companies anymore?
That's awesome. Oh, I appreciate that. That was basically my message. I'm like, what's your main business? Oh, we clean windows. Why?
Why? Also, you're on ladders. Also, you have to buy equipment. Also, yeah. I mean, I do love my window cleaning business. But someday when Jeff gets bored, here's the deal. The next time Jeff threatens to go get a job at the ski
Yes.
shop because he's bored in the winter, I'm going to say, go talk to Ryan Lee and start a new company.
I love that idea.
That's going to be how that goes.
I love that idea. Okay. So I want to talk about something that you already have out there. You're able to teach someone how to do their books in 1 hour per month. How is that even possible?
Yeah, you still don't believe me. We've been over this like
I know.
over and over and over again. And he's like,
It's
also,
not
I feel like he has a beeper hiding behind his screen. Like every time I say the word bookkeeping, he like would stop me or his face would like change and distort. Also, balance sheet. Did anybody notice his face when I said the word balance sheet? He turns like white, which means he's you, listeners. Ryan Lee is you, and he does not like talking about money. It makes him squirmy.
Say a finance word real quick.
No, did you find a button?
Oh, what?
Of course you did. Fun fact for listeners: Ryan and I spent. This is ridiculous.
I'm going to be beeping the rest of the show. No finance words.
I regret saying that immediately. But Ryan and I got way too friendly like a month ago or 2 months ago where we got loopy. We spent a lot of time together building stuff. And I was trying to convince him that bookkeeping was sexy. And he was like, it's not. Nobody cares. It's just nobody cares. I'm like, but it is the secret sauce. And he's like, nobody cares. So here's my pitch, which he's going to beat through. But I think that if you're doing less than $1 million a year in sales, you have to do your own bookkeeping. I firmly believe this. And I fight with a lot of people in my industry about this. And it's ironic. It's almost a conflict of interest because I actually run a bookkeeping company. But I still believe that nobody, including me, is ever going to care about your money like you do. No one. Not your sister, not your wife, not your mom, not your office manager, not a bookkeeper, not anybody else that you pay to deal with money. It's your money. It's your business. It's your baby. And it doesn't have to be big and scary. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time. We hear like often that we need to leverage our time and we need to delegate our tasks and we need to stay in our genius zone. So the arguments I hear is like, I'm not good at it, so why would I do it? And I say, because you have to get good at it. There's no other shortcuts here. You have to get good at understanding how much money you're making. And if this is by hour or by day or by crew or by week, I don't care how you measure it, but you have to measure how much money you're making. If you're not keeping track of it, you're never going to make it. You have to know how much you're making. And then people are usually pretty good at that. Like when you go to the Huge convention, we always have this joke, like how many times at a bar will somebody come up and tell me how much they're making gross? And then I always say, oh, that's nice. And I turn around and I walk away. And it's like a whole joke, right? But nobody talks about how much they're making net. And we grew our window cleaning company really slow. So we really paid attention to the net. We wanted to make, a very, very healthy net incomes and salaries from our window cleaning business without working very much. That was our goal. The top line was just a vanity measure, right?
Yep.
So how much are you making? How much are you spending? And then where are you spending it? That's all bookkeeping is. Everything else that feels big and scary is not, because we have these super cool things called computers and this super cool thing called software, and it does everything else for you. So I say all I have to do is teach you how to set up a rule. And then I have to show you a system. It's just a system. Do this, do this, do this. And you can do bookkeeping for a company doing less than $1 million in less than 1 hour a month. And the byproduct of that is you end up spending less because you're touching every expense. So are you really using that subscription? Did you really mean to buy that thing twice? I thought you canceled that, but you didn't really cancel it. You're catching every unnecessary expense in your company because you're touching all of them every single month very quickly. And you're getting a feeling for like these trends, because even if you don't like numbers, you have a gut. All of us as business owners and entrepreneurs have a gut, and your gut is telling you, you think you know how much you should be making. The disconnect comes from you're not actually checking if that's true.
Yeah. Well, so I'm the guy that tells people don't do everything yourself. Like, don't do your books
See,
yourself.
I knew we've been in this fight before. Again,
Yeah.
deja vu. Let's hear it. You're that guy. Yeah, delegate it.
I'm going to maybe admit that I was maybe a little bit wrong, but not completely.
Lindsay,
So
are you listening, Lindsay?
I hope not. I'm gonna delete this episode before. Okay, so I seriously, I'm like, no, don't do this stuff. You're not a bookkeeper. You're not a finance. Like, get a professional. But recently, I've had some experiences where I'm like, wait a minute. I thought my bookkeeper was doing this. I thought my CPA was doing this, and I'm like, wait, they're not. Wait, I thought you were double checking this. And so I am now a convert to the Meaghan Likes strategy of I'm not gonna go all in and say doing your own books, because I do think once, especially over 1 million, you need to get professionals involved and stuff like that. But under 1 million, for sure, I'm literally gonna do your course. I know I missed the last one that was live. I'm gonna do the next one because I want to do it, and I'm probably gonna still pay my bookkeeper and stuff like that. But I'm gonna be I'm going to spend that hour to really understand it better and understand like why this could be negative here and positive here and all these other things. Like, I need that understanding. So I want to encourage everyone to take ownership of their finances and not rely on professionals, whatever, because they can make mistakes. They can be wrong, and they don't care
And they
about
don't
your
care.
money.
They
Yeah.
don't care. That, like, if you're losing money every month, oh well. Like, this is something we're working really hard at Likes Accounting with our bookkeepers, is like empathy training. So it's actually a requirement to be a bookkeeper that works for my company. You have to have owned your own company, or you have to have grown up in a family business, because I need you to feel it when they're losing money. I
Yeah.
need you to feel
Okay,
it
awesome.
when they're hemorrhaging, right? Like, I need the bookkeepers to care, and I need them to raise all bells and whistles and alarms and flags when something goes wrong on a monthly basis, right? Because they're the ones looking. And I've also worked really hard at Likes Accounting. This is a little proprietary, but we don't send P&Ls and balance sheets. We send Loom videos, because what we found is our clients won't actually open them. They won't look at them, and they don't feel smart enough to understand them, which I'm trying to train people that's not so scary. It's not so hard. But if you have somebody who's fun and interesting and like bubbly, explaining what happened to your company every month, like, it's a 2-minute video. Who wouldn't watch that?
I
Now,
love that.
ironically, I actually have data that some of my clients still don't watch it, which means they should be on my fire list. But we're trying to make it accessible because you need to pay attention and care about your money. CJ's question was, does it apply to QuickBooks users? And it's QuickBooks Online only. And I get in this fight a lot too. If you're still using QuickBooks Desktop, or if your bookkeeper is, the makers of QuickBooks is Intuit, and we're good friends. If you ever go to the Intuit campus, a fun fact, my face hangs on all the flags from the light poles. It's very weird. Or if you want to go to a really fun conference, 5,000 person accountant conference in Vegas, and my face is like, it's like 20-foot Megan's. It's awesome. So Intuit, the makers of QuickBooks and the makers of QuickBooks Online, say that by switching to QuickBooks Online, you'll save between 10 and 40 hours a month of manual data entry, which is how I can make these claims that you can do your own bookkeeping in less than an hour a month without any experience, like no accounting degrees. I'm not going to teach you debits and credits. Where's the buzzer? I'm not going to say any bad words like depreciation or amortization or
I'm gonna have a producer one day.
Yeah,
We're gonna get this.
okay, I'm not going to say any of those things in class. All I'm going to teach you is how much you're making, how much you're spending, and where you're spending it. That's what the class is about. That's what bookkeeping's about.
That is awesome. Okay, we're going to do a quick break. And I'm not sure if you know about this, but we are going to give away some money right now to someone who can answer a technical lighting question. So we like to talk business. We like to have fun. We like to do all that stuff. But it is important to know what you're doing when you're actually going to install these lights and everything else. So we're going to play a game right now. Whoa. Gift card giveaway. All right, it's everyone's favorite time of the day. It's time to play gift card giveaway. So the first person to answer this correctly, obviously you can only play live on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. Answer this question correctly. The first person will get $50, and we'll just send you out a gift card. So here's the question: And Meaghan, you cannot answer. You're disqualified, just so that people don't think that we shared answers or anything like that. I know you're going to want to buzz in, but you cannot do this one. So here's the question. Most people know that the MR in MR16 refers to mirrored reflector. However, when referring to another style of lamp, the letters DCB refer to what? The letters DCB. So Delta Charlie Bravo. What do the letters DCB refer to? And I haven't figured this out yet, but we're just going to keep talking, Meaghan. And then when someone chimes in with an answer or whatever, whether it's right or wrong, then we'll interrupt it, because sometimes it takes some time for people to guess. So
For them to Google, they got to Google.
Yeah, there's some Googling going on, and then they're like, did I hear, was it DCB or DBC? It's just some complications. So again, what do the letters, when referring to a style of lamp, DCB, stand for? And we'll let them put their guesses in for that, and then I'll interrupt you when they put them in. So I want to ask you about the P&L, the balance sheet, the cash flow. You're saying
you gotta like beep. No, we're gonna talk about those things. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Should we not?
No, I don't know. I felt like you were afraid of those words, but yes, keep going.
Yeah. No, those three I'm gonna allow for today. Anything beyond that, we might just go dark. I might just pull the plug on the whole thing. It's like it's over.
I feel like you've done this to me. Oh, no, that was Kirk Kempton. Kirk Kempton has literally hung up on me before. Been like, I can't hear you, and then he just ended the Zoom more than once.
He's a genius. He's definitely a genius. All
He's
right.
on to something, yeah.
Okay.
So I wasn't fully paying attention. Profit and loss, balance sheet.
Yep, but I told you we'd interrupt you. We do have some guesses. Dual color black body, that's not correct. But we do have a winner, Mr. John Van. And John, I'm not surprised. John Van is a new CLVLT, which is a certified low voltage lighting technician. I saw that he just got that. So congrats, John Van, for getting your CLVLT, and congrats for winning $50 of my hard-earned cash, bro. That's awesome, man. It stands for double contact bayonet. So basically, it's a type of light bulb, and the socket, like if you buy like a house bulb or whatever, it's like an E26 base or whatever. I don't remember exactly which ones they are. But in landscape lighting, one of the bulbs is a double contact bayonet that pushes down to get the contact. So there's a single contact bayonet, which is a SCB, or the double contact bayonet, DCB. So the more you know. And congrats, John. I think we've got your correct address, but maybe just shoot me a message just to make sure I do have your correct address so we can get that sent out to you. Congrats, and thanks for playing. What was the game called? Gift card giveaway.
I feel like I'm on a radio show. You have like a whole other voice, and you have sound effects, and like, is there really a button, or are you like clicking a mouse?
There's really a button.
Oh, don't do it. Oh, wow, there's like legit a soundboard.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You think I'm a rookie?
I've
been doing this for like at least
a day.
60 episodes.
60 episodes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get back to the boring financial stuff and teach us wisely. Like what? So you do the Loom video, but I'm assuming you're going over it, right? Like, what are just a few key takeaways? Like, I don't want too much. I just want a couple things that I should be like, listen, if I'm not looking at this and this number should be this or percent, like, give me something that I can go off of to feel better about myself today. If I want to just go look at my QuickBooks and be like, am I doing good or am I doing bad?
Okay. So we were talking before we got started today about our mutual friend, Tommy Mello. And Tommy Mello, if you don't know who he is a giant guy in the garage door space. And he has a cool event called Vertical Track. And his first Vertical Track event, he called me on the phone. He was so excited. I had to be there. I had to give a talk. And he was going to sign the talk to me. And the talk was going to be financial statement analysis.
Ooh,
and I was like,
awesome.
Are you serious? I was like, nobody will come. And he's like, oh, no, Meaghan, I figured it out. It's a main stage presentation. They can't leave. And I was like,
that's awesome.
Really? So a couple hundred people
We've chained the doors. They can't get out.
Locked the doors. A couple hundred people have to listen to Meaghan Likes talk about financial statement analysis. Really? I don't know why we're still friends. I don't know how we're still friends, but we survived it. And basically, while developing that talk, and I've written a couple of really cool talks for Tommy over the years, but while writing that talk, I figured out the answer to your question, Ryan. Here it is. Everybody loves looking at the profit and loss statement because we like talking about how much money we're making, and we kind of know a little bit about how much money we're spending, or we want to know how much money should we be spending. So the profit and loss statement is where all that lives. So most people are like, okay, yeah, I can look at a profit and loss statement. And then they get stuck because they're like, I actually have no idea what I'm looking at. What's happening here? Like, what do you want me to see? So I've learned the secret sauce to that. And it is true for me too. When I look at a profit and loss statement for a new company, because I work in a lot of industries, I do mostly work in home service because I own a home service company, but like I was telling you about the therapist, right? So when you look at a profit and loss statement and it's just one for one period, it means nothing. It's actually like reading another language. It doesn't make sense to anybody, including a skilled professional like me. So the trick to the profit and loss statement is you have to compare it against something. So here, very quickly, are my 3 favorite ways to look at a profit and loss statement. The first one is you look at this year to date and you compare it to last year to date. And now you have a benchmark. Now you know, hey, am I growing? Am I spending more? Am I spending less?
Yep.
Is something wrong? Am I shrinking? What's happening? So if you can compare it to something, suddenly it makes a little bit more sense because there's words like accounting costs, rent, labor costs, material costs. There's words, there's numbers, and you can compare it. Is that good or is that bad? And mostly in business, we're just competing against ourselves. We don't really care who anybody else in our industry is doing or what else is happening. We just care like, am I doing better than I did before? Or am I doing worse? And why? So that's hack number 1. Hack number 2, I like to see trends. So I like to look at a profit and loss statement, and then I do this thing in QuickBooks where I click a button and it says display columns by month. So now my profit and loss statement is wide. It's not long and skinny, it's wide. And it says, okay, in January, I did this much. In February, I did this much. In March, I did this much. April, May. And I can watch it, and it's not really as pretty as a graph for you visual people out there. It still almost looks like a spreadsheet. It's still a little bit scary, but you can at least find like, hey, wow, look in March. We did like, 56,000. And wow, look at June. We only did 22,000. What the heck happened? And you can start wondering, well, maybe it was a commercial job that hasn't paid you yet. Or maybe you took the whole month off and you're an owner operator, or maybe whatever it is, but you can start questioning this profit and loss statement. You don't have to have the answers, but you have to at least start being curious about the numbers in your company. Likewise, if you have a bookkeeper and they're making mistakes, they never look at it this way, which they should. That's how you find all the mistakes. Like, well, I pay my rent every month. Why isn't there a number in the rent line for those months? They put it in the wrong place. Or
like the trends that you're talking about, like why is this certain category double from last year or half as much or whatever? Like I love that. That's great. Great advice.
Yeah, and same with like I had somebody asking today in the mastermind group about like just like in this group, somebody asked about like, well, what is my material cost supposed to be? And they listed them and I was like, that doesn't seem right because I know what my industry is. And he came back, he's like, oh, you're right. There's a bunch of stuff miscategorized in there. How about this? Does that seem more right? And I'm like, oh yeah, that does seem a little bit more in line. And he's like, is it good? And I was like, I don't know. Is it better than it was last month? Like good for me is not good for you. You need to compete against yourself. And if you look at your P&Ls like this, you will. The third way I like to look at a P&L is, again, it's called a hack called QuickBooks Online. You just click a button. So you run the P&L and you click the button and you say percentage of income. We don't do math. I hate math. I'm actually quite bad at math. You just click buttons in software and it does math for you. So you run the P&L, you click the button that says percentage of income, and it will now tell you when somebody asks you, what should my cost of goods sold for materials be outside of labor as a percentage of income? Oh, JC, here he is. P&L for the devil. Oh boy. Yes, there you go. I don't know if you heard about the beeping, but you do a percentage of income and now you know, hey, what is my cost of goods sold as a percentage of my income? And here's why we care. Cost of goods sold, big scary words, no beeps coming from the producer over there, but big scary word. Cost of goods sold is basically how much money do you have to spend to make money, right? You have to spend money on lights in order to be able to install lights. It's going to cost you money to make money. So we care about our cost of goods sold because if your cost of goods sold is 110% of income, guess what? You're not making any money, right? But if your cost of goods sold is 30% of your income or 40% of your income, you still have room to make some money. So those are my 3 ways I like to look at the devilish P&Ls. And my last 4th hack is I like to move how much you've paid yourself from the balance sheet onto the P&L, because that's the number you care about. So you make $100,000, you spend $20,000 on lights, then you spend another $20,000 on rent and gas and advertising and whatever else. At the end of the day, you got $60,000. But if you take $80,000 out of your company, your P&L is going to say that you're actually backwards, that you were negative 20 grand. If you don't show on your P&L how much you took out of your company, your accountant's going to tell you made $60,000 last year, and you're like, liar, you're an idiot. Because you forget, you don't remember taking the $80,000 out. Nobody knows how much they actually take out of their business, because we have a terrible habit of robbing our businesses, like robbing piggy banks. We just keep dipping our hand in the cookie jar. So those are my hacks for the P&L.
Those are great. Those are great advice. And you're right. Like QuickBooks Online makes it easy. It's kind of fun to see the graphs and those trends and stuff. And you're like, oh, I had a good month compared to last year, the same month. What did I do different? And then you can go and analyze that and say, oh, it was because I did that trade show, or it's because I called on that landscape architect, or, whatever it is. And it's like, okay, I need to do more of that. Or it dipped and it's like, okay, I need to do less of that. That was when I took the whole month off and didn't do anything and couldn't get out of bed or whatever, So I love that. Those are thanks for.
And when things dip, sometimes for me, I still have a seasonal company. I'm working very hard to not make it seasonal, but I still have a seasonal business. February sucks. Don't talk to me in February. August also sucks. I can't believe I'm talking to you in August, but it's not a fun month. It's like a weird, eerie shoulder season for window cleaning, where it's too soon for gutter cleaning, but everybody's like in back to school mode and nobody wants to talk to me. I don't like August. I don't like February. And it's really assuring when I look at last year, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. The sky's not falling. I'm not going out of business. It's just August sucks. And I forget every year that August sucks, and it does. Here we are. Good news. August is almost over.
Yeah, it's almost over. So, hey, let's look forward to September. End of July, August, I think, is really hard for any home service business because of that, because people are doing the vacation thing, getting ready for back to school, and it's just not on their mind. And then as soon as people get back to school, then it's like the switch gets flipped, or flip gets switched. Yeah, whatever. That happens. And then people are like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm rich. Let's spend some money. My windows are dirty. Let's get those done. Oh yeah, it's getting dark outside. It's earlier. We need lighting. Oh yeah, we built this $300,000 pool. We can't use it at night. So same thing happens with the lighting business. And you're right. You can use it as a tool to make, keep yourself motivated, and realize it's not because you suck at business or marketing. It's just a trend that happens.
Well, and all those things that we were talking about were historical, right? So that's us being reactive because we're looking at the past. I think that where things get really exciting, and what I'm really wanting to move towards with my clients and with my members, is becoming proactive. So like, how do we make August not suck? How do we make February not suck? How do we get ahead of it with a marketing plan? How do we get ahead of it with like memberships or maintenance agreements? Like, how can we even out those valleys so that it's not a surprise and we're not being reactive anymore? How do we use numbers to help us become proactive in our companies? I feel like that's the secret sauce that we never get to, because nobody knows what their numbers are. So we don't even have good data to see the past trends to start projecting out future trends.
That's a great point. And I found myself doing that in my lighting business. And so the trend, what was interesting, and I don't know if I solved it or not, but we still had that dip. But the difference was we were dipping because we grew everything. So instead of like dipping from $100,000 a month to only a $50,000 a month, we dipped from a $300,000 to a $150,000 a month. So some of those trends still, you can't like get rid of them, but you can increase the marketing, the sales, all these other things to still have killer months that just aren't as good as your crazy good months,
And the cash. I feel like I had a meeting this morning, like, we're not good at cash flow planning. And so we starve our businesses of cash, which is like the lifeblood of a business. And then when you need to put money on marketing, when you need to get more calls coming in and leads coming in, you actually don't have any money left to spend to make that happen. And so it ends up in this vicious cycle. So if you know August is going to be rough and you have an excellent team, then you have the savings. You know you're going to spend it, and then it's not so painful. Or you have the plan, like, okay, we're going to do our team building, we're going to do our leadership development, we're going to do lots of soft skill training. Like, it's not as scary because you planned for it. And I think most businesses get stuck in reactive mode.
Yeah, love that. I mean, it's so genius planning. Like, I don't know, that just seems like that's complicated.
Yeah.
Again, I know Meaghan's dropping some stuff that's confusing, guys, like planning and budgeting and stuff. But I don't know. The jury's still out if I'm recommending follow her advice or not. Definitely follow her advice, guys. We already talked about it. All these businesses go out of business because they don't make enough money. Meaghan has figured out more than 4 hacks on how to do that. I want to ask you before we wrap up about your new program that you're coming out. Meaghan and I spent literally 2 days. We did as a lock-in. This was her idea. I highly recommend you guys doing this. Find somebody that you get along with. Find somebody that you want to be like when you grow up. And really, you can help each other out. Like, Meaghan and I are like 2 different personalities. I hate finances. She loves, and so it was really good because I could help her with like the stuff that's more like sales and marketing. She could help.
I'm so afraid of sales and marketing. I just like want to hide when you like right now. I'm like, okay, I'll go and you can just do this for me, right? I'll see you later. Okay. Right. No.
Exactly. Well, now you know how we feel about finance. So, but I'm not going to take any credit for it, but that's when I got kind of like the behind the scenes look at what you're doing. And I'm like, holy cow, like we need to have you on the podcast. We need to talk about this. You can help so many business owners with what you're working on right now. And it's not like, oh, hire Meaghan to do your books and to be your CPA and do the easy route out. Like, it's going to require some attention to detail. It's going to require spending time working on your business, but it aligns with everything I'm talking about and stuff. So let's talk about Profits to Freedom.
Let's talk about it. So ironically, Brian and I literally, when he says 2 days, I mean, I'm not a nice person, and he was locked in his office for 12 to 13 hours a day, and I was locked in my office for 12 to 13. And then we did it 2 days in a row. And the way we split it was 1 day was working on me, 1 day was working on him. And yes, I agree. Whoever the Facebook user is, like, garbage in, garbage out. So if you have unreliable data, then you're not going to make any decisions. Monthly reports are critical, but more than that is you have to actually look at them, and then you have to actually analyze them. Like, just looking at them tells you nothing and does nothing. That's actually why I prefer people doing their own bookkeeping, because I think that that's more proactive, because you're actually going to get mad when that charge is still happening and you're not going to notice it on the monthly report. So you have to analyze it. Profits to Freedom is like the advanced course. So once you have good data, once you have good books, once you have good information, how do we actually leverage that to make a difference in our companies? So we came up with this plan of 6 weeks to financial freedom. And it's a hybrid of all the classes I've taught in the past. And Ryan gave some input on classes. He made me rename all of them. He took away all the scary words. They have like very sexy titles now. I think we spent like 2 to 4 hours just on names during these logins. Like, so much time on names to take away the big scary words. But the idea is, okay, now that we've kind of figured out how much we're making, because almost all of you can tell me how much you made last year. Now, Jeff, once upon a time, Jeff's my husband, he couldn't tell you within $500,000 how much he made in a year. Like, he was maybe the exception. So if you're like Jeff, no judgment, there's room for you here too. But then let's take that data and figure out, like, what is our labor rate? Nobody talks about labor rate. That's not fun. But basically, when I told you that there was a guy at the huge convention making $1,250 per hour, that's a labor rate. And if you don't know what your labor rate is, then it's really hard to bid jobs, and it's really hard to predict how much money you're going to make. And then it's really hard to set a daily goal for how much you want to make in sales. So understanding labor rate sounds scary. And I remember Ryan probably had a sexier name for it, but whatever. I don't have my notes in front of me. But understanding how much you can charge per hour, or how much you should charge per hour, is critical. Understanding how to price. That's another thing we're going to go through this class. Like, how do you know what your break-even point is? How much money do you have to make every day to be able to break even? Understanding that doesn't have to be big and scary. So we're going to go through that. Profit first. We're going to talk about, what is profit first? Why do we care? Essentially, it's cash flow planning so you never run out of cash again, and you have guardrails in your business without having to do a budget. We might even talk about budgets, but I'm going to just sneak that one in. We're going to just not goal setting though. Goal setting is fun and exciting. If you want to grow, so I went to a class a couple weeks ago. I decided that I'm scared. I'm going to call my shot publicly on, and you said it, everything I say is going to like be thing. I think I want to grow a $15 million window cleaning company.
I love that.
Why not?
You heard it live.
You never hear people talk about 3 million or above. So why didn't I say 5 or 10? Because those felt small. And I started doing this goal setting exercise. And that's the class I'm giving at 5 o'clock tonight in my membership group. And it's pretty magical. Do you know how many technicians it takes to grow a $15 million company? Do you know how many leads it takes? Do you know how much your ad spend has to be and your recruiting spend? It's all just math. And I have beautiful little spreadsheets and templates that are like dashboards that I hide my spreadsheets. Like you don't even have to look at spreadsheets. You just put in an input. This is my average ticket. This is my conversion rate. It's pretty great. So that's what Profits to Freedom is. And Ryan tried to get me to charge more. We got in several fights about pricing also. But it's super cheap. It's $297 a month. And we're going to relaunch in September with a 6-week class. So 6-week live class with me talking about all these nerdy, terrible things that Ryan keeps bleeping out.
Yes, I'm excited about it. I'm signing up for it. So do we know the official launch date, or do we just go to this website that we're going to post in the comments here?
You just go to this website and get signed up, and we'll be launching in September.
Okay. So yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up. We're like a month out.
Yeah. And it's going to be fun. And we're going to do it together. And like what the cool thing about these groups is like community. You build a tribe. And now you don't feel so scared. You don't feel like you've got like, oh, if Jeff can do it, if Ryan can do it, I can do it, right? Like these people who are allergic to money, if they can get a handle on it and grow a profitable business, I can do it too. And I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it. So thank you, Ryan, for helping me find that passion for it again. I kept getting stuck in the bookkeeping world, and it's super important. I'm not going to stop saying that. But the fun part is using those books to really make a difference in our companies.
It's honestly, it's the only way. I got excited when you were talking about growing your $15 million window cleaning business, because I'm like, you know, that's a goal big enough that it's embarrassing to like say out loud. And you're like,
I was like,
I know, I can't believe like I'm not gonna do it. But I love that. And so imagine being around other people that are willing to share embarrassing goals and say, wait a minute, if she can do a $15 million window cleaning business and I have higher tickets, why can't I do a $25 million lighting business? Whatever it is, right? Whatever some embarrassing goal is. And some people's embarrassing goal might just be a $3 million business. Whatever it is, do that. And then these working with Meaghan, working with numbers and stuff like that, it's like you said, it's just a big giant math equation. So this is the way to do it. And obviously I teach systems on pricing and sales and marketing. Like all those things are important. But again, if you're not paying attention to those numbers, you can get yourself upside down very, very quickly. And there's been huge companies with amazing vanity revenues that are completely upside down, and we know what happens to them. So I'm excited. You're
I'm excited too. And in your group, I think we're hanging out a little bit more. We've already seen some differences happening in your group. I feel like it's going to be fun. We're all going to be growing together and making more profitable businesses. I think it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting stuff.
Okay. Well, I love it. Thanks so much for sharing this time with us. Thanks for keeping it clean, you know, not mentioning too many of those big F words. And
you cursed more than I did, for the record, over the past hour. I just want to say I kept it super clean.
Financial words, F words.
Oh.
Yeah, that was awesome, you guys. I put the link in there. That's the best way to get started on her new Profits to Freedom. Is it a course, academy? What are we calling it? I don't even remember.
Well, it's a program.
Yeah,
yep,
program.
It's a program.
All right. Well, I'm excited about it. I hope to see you guys in there. And that's pretty much it. So you guys have an awesome week. Thanks again, Meaghan. I really appreciate you. And we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right. See you guys.